Welcome back to another episode of On the DL. I am Danielle.
And I'm Linda.
Hello. Hi. What's up?
Not a whole lot.
How are you?
I'm dandy.
Oh, I love a dandy.
I'm just peachy. I haven't heard that one in a while. I'm going to start bringing that back. And people are like, how are you doing? Be like, peachy.
I'm just peachy.
I don't even know where that came from. Who started that?
That sounds like a question for Google, my love.
I feel like that's like something my dad started. You know what I mean?
Okay, my dad.
Someone's father started that. It's just peachy.
I'm screaming.
I'm excited for this episode. We told you guys last week that we're going to go back to our roots, kind of go back to like how we used to podcast. And a huge part of that was mental health.
Yes.
So we are doing a mental health episode today.
Yes.
I'm really excited about it.
We're checking in. We're seeing how everyone's doing.
Yes. How are you doing?
Honestly, I'm having a really great day.
I'd love to hear that.
Today is
Is
like
it because
a
the
good
sun
day.
is shining?
Maybe. I woke up. I went to the gym. I listened to our new episode that came out today. I was like, oh my God, we sound so good. Like, look at us just killing the game.
It did sound really good.
Even someone saw me. They're like, you're really smiley. I'm like, I'm just having a good day.
I'm just having a great time.
You know, I have a very terribly busy week ahead of me. And I'm like, all right, I got to get through this week. And we're going away in 2 weeks. And can I really?
We're going away next week.
No.
We're literally going away next week. We're going away in a little over a week.
Pulls up calendar. Hold on. Oh my God, you're right. In 10 days.
Yes.
Okay. So 10 days.
That's just going to fly by.
No, I know.
We are going to do a vlog of our trip to Puerto Rico. We're going to Puerto Rico for our birthdays. We are going to vlog it. It'll be super duper fun. I promise you.
Yes.
It'll be awesome. I actually can't wait. I actually can't. This trip for like a minute was stressing me out so bad. And now I can't wait.
Why would it stress you out? Why
well, just because I feel like this time of year gets so hectic, like with taxes. I gotta
I gotta
my
file
lease
my
is
taxes.
up. Oof, you should probably do that. My car is due. You know what I mean? Like just stuff like that, like birthdays, Easter. Like there's just a lot that goes around these between March and April all the time that I was like, I was like, you know what? I need to appreciate the fact that I don't have employees at the moment. It's just me. So I'm like, I need to get into vacation mode, and I have entered vacation mode today.
Oh, I wish. I'm not gonna do that till next week, literally, because I'm working every single night this week.
That sounds disgusting.
It was not. I didn't mean to. I sincerely did not mean to do that to myself. But then, I was talking to one of the other bartenders. She's like, "Yeah, you're working for me next week." I'm like, "I am." She's like, "Yeah, you said, and I'm working for you this day." I was like, "Oh, let me put that in my fucking calendar because I forgot."
It doesn't show up to work.
And then another person was like, "Can you please cover for me? There's no one else." And I'm like, I guess I can do that. So it's just out of the goodness of my heart that I'm working.
Well, it's
these
fine
extra
because then
shifts.
that vacation will be very overdue. You'll enjoy it even more.
Yeah.
Because you'll need it extra.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to figure out, because my sister, who is just a crazy person, is like, "Oh, your nephew wants to go away with you for his birthday," because his birthday is April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to always go away for a spring break together. And the last 2 years, it's just been adult trips, He's like, "Well, I'm going to be 11. I'm an adult now." I'm like, "That's so cute." I go,
You're almost.
I go, "If you guys want to do something," I took the whole week off. So when we get back, I'm like, "We can go do something." She's like, "Let's fly to Florida." I'm like, "Oh, okay, we can fly to Florida," because I can get a flight from Puerto Rico to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
I go, "You just have to fly down and, bring my kid with you too. Just fly down." And she goes, "Let's look at flights." Now, when someone says, "Let's look at flights," I look at flights.
No, 100%. I've already been on Expedia.
Yeah.
You say trip, and I've already searched
It's already
different destinations.
It is already planned, my love. So
Yeah.
I look at flights for her. Hey, if you want to fly in on Monday, because that's when we would be coming back. So if you want to fly down on Monday, because that's when we're coming back from Puerto Rico, here are the flights. Literally. There's a flight here. I literally copy paste. Here's the flight. They're $268 for the round trip because we would have to come home on Thursday. Here it is. Because I can get a flight and I can play. See, that's the other thing. I can pay with my points for my flight from San Juan to Fort Lauderdale. I'm good. And then I could just use the credit that I would be using to come back to New York.
Yeah.
No worries. I'm good. Okay, I'll let you know.
Doesn't let you know.
What? Like you would be flying in 2 weeks. Literally 2 weeks. It would be 2 weeks from today that she would have to fly. You'll let me know?
So do you follow up or do you just like let it go?
I let it go. I'm not chasing anyone.
Yeah.
I am not going to like, I have no problem. I could go. And, you know, that's the other thing. I called. I'm like, are we just going to go stay with mom? Like, what's the plan here? Like let's fly to Florida and what?
And then what?
Sleep on the street? What are you talking? What are we doing
Sleep
here?
on the street.
Like, what are we? We're sleeping on the beach? What are we doing?
I've slept on the beach a couple of times.
See? I'm like, but we have kids.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
On the beach.
Yeah.
You'll blend right in.
Are we staying with mom? Oh, I don't know. Probably. So another thing, I call mom. Hi, there's a possibility that we'll be flying down. Is that cool? Do you have plans? Like,
yeah, literally.
Are you doing something?
Yeah.
Let me check so I do all the work. All of the legwork is there. I'll let you know.
Just book it. Let me know what.
I'm not paying for your flights, love.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. You're also literally going from one vacation to another. Like, that's insanity.
And I'm doing that because, you know, I'm trying to be like a good auntie.
Well, why don't you just make it a different weekend?
Girl, I don't know.
Just be like, hey, I'm going to be away. Let's do another weekend. Because if it were the other way around, your sister would literally be like, no, I'm going to be away. Let's do another weekend. That's literally what your sister would say.
Except now that I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, I can, because in my brain, it's possible. I can make that happen. I can do it. And then I don't have to come home. That's even better.
Yeah, you're like, perfect.
What? Absolutely. I'll stay in the sun for another few days. Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
It's like a no-brainer for me.
But she'll let you know, Danielle.
She'll let me know.
And you're going to have to let me know because I'm curious.
That's why when I said, I'm like, I got us a ride. There's a possibility that I might fly somewhere else. Anyway, so back to this mental health check-in episode. Let's talk about
the armchair psychology, the
trickle down therapy. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay.
Hold on. I have a hat.
I'm screaming. Wait. She's like, hold on, guys. I have something for you. Goes, oh, that's what the bag is. I'm dead. No, she's doing it. Looks really cute. Wait, hold on. Let's just take a picture of this. Can we just? So, for those of you who are not watching on YouTube, our dear friend Linda is wearing the cutest little red wig. Do you want to explain to me?
I've decided to wear the clown wig today because I deserve it. Who is it? Ibra in the morning who does like Donkey of the Day. Is it him who does the Donkey of the Day?
I don't know. I've never heard that.
Okay, so he does like Donkey of the Day. I decided that I had to wear the clown wig of the day because I am the clown of the day, guys.
Okay, why are you saying that? Because I mean, I know already. I don't think you're a clown.
I kind of like this.
It's kind of cute. Should we bring that with us to Puerto Rico? Should I get one too?
Okay, so last week, I don't overshare on this podcast.
Nope, that's my job.
Yes, that is Danielle's job. I don't really share my personal information on the podcast just because I don't like to. And the one and only time I did, I made the entire podcast about a personal experience. I told you guys that I was in a long distance relationship last week, and my hot take was that long distance relationships work. I'm wearing the clown hat of the day because this man broke up with me this weekend.
Wah, wah.
Bum, bum, bum. So I'm wearing the clown wig of the day. I deserve it.
I gotta be honest.
Because it's embarrassing.
I feel like he deserves the clown wig.
Oh no, I deserve the clown wig.
Okay,
I deserve it. Now we're gonna take it off because it's itchy.
Oh wow. All right. Here is my take on this. Like, and I know it sucks, obviously, to go back to something that you're like, no, it's done, it's over, and then you try it again, and then it just kind of like reinforces that I should have just
Stayed away.
Yeah, stayed where I was. Everyone's done it. You're not the first, and you certainly will not be the last.
I know.
And there's no shame in giving something a try when you're feeling a certain type of way about it. Like, there's literally no shame in that. And I think that that's something that needs to be said. We shouldn't shame people into like not sharing things with us. Like, if we're like, it's kind of like not the best idea, like, I'm here for you. I got your back. Like, I don't think it's the best idea, but like, you know,
I'm here to catch you if you fall. The reason why I definitely wanted to bring up the fact that it did not work out and just throw away last episode,
it was a good episode.
Just throw away my entire part of that episode. But no, the reason why I really wanted to bring it up today, and it was actually perfect because it's the perfect way for me to actually tie this into this mental health episode, because there was a huge chunk when this specific ex and I broke up over a year ago.
Okay.
It tore me up. It destroyed me, like to a point where I couldn't shower, couldn't eat, couldn't do much. And it took a lot for me to get to a certain point of just being comfortable with myself and getting my self-esteem back. Like, there's that huge aspect of self-esteem where you're like, I'm not worthy, I suck, I'm the common denominator, I'm the problem, I'm the whatever. So I went through like the stages of grief where it was like the sadness, the anger, I went through it.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward, the reason why I feel like this is important to talk about is because this time around, I approached the relationship in a completely different manner. It was no longer this toxic feeling that I had, because I was treating him just like I would treat any other relationship that I would be in right now, new or old. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm looking for, point blank, period. I'm willing to do X, Y, and Z to make it work. It was a little trickier because it was, there's history there. So it's like, it makes it even more serious. Now, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of what happened, but the truth is, the only thing that is true is that we did break up. Now, I look at it in a sense of, when that happened this past weekend, I almost like patted myself on the back, because I watched everything that I worked so hard all year to get to happen in real life, in real time. It happened in real time. I watched it happen with myself, and I like woke up this morning and I was like, I'm so fucking proud of myself.
Good.
Because last year, this absolutely, it's proof. It shattered me. This time I'm like, okay, that was awkward. Let me wear a clown hat, because
that was awkward.
That was awkward, because it's like, you go through these motions where you're, oh my God, having to defend an ex-boyfriend. You get back with your ex-boyfriend, and I'm sure a lot of people can agree with this.
Yes.
You get back with an ex, and the amount of convincing that you have to do for family members and friends, like, no, he's changed and it's different and it's this, that, and the other. And then a tiny little part of you is like, the other shoe's not going to drop, but it might. And it does. And you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to, like, I don't even deserve to cry over this. This was self-inflicted. I got to just walk away. I got to take this L, and then I'm going to walk away. And there's another layer to it too, right? Like, through that work that I did with myself, like mentally, really digging into becoming the person that I want to be, like in every aspect, like the type of friend that I want to be to the closest people to me, a family member, a potential mother, a potential wife, like really channeling that person and kind of navigating almost like a new life. Like, all right, there's so many things that I've never thought about. How do I go about navigating who I want to be? It's foreign territory, right? Like, I've never done certain things because I've just never done them before. But having to change to become who you really want to be is so liberating in a way, because this happened and it did not shake me.
Yeah.
It did not shake me at all. All I did was, this does not change my day to day. This doesn't change who I am, because I worked so hard to get to where I am. No one can fucking break me. And I promised myself that after that breakup, I'm not going to let somebody break me like that ever again. I'm not. And that's why this was like absolutely the nail in the coffin. Like if you see me on Hinge, it's because I'm trying to date you. Let's go.
Well, I mean,
This isn't like it was like the nail in the coffin, but that feeling of finding out that you're a rebound, I think hurts in a different way. Almost like, wow. You know what I mean? It's like a double shot in the gut because it's like you get punched and then you come to the realization that you're like, wow, you deserve like an Academy Award. Like you deserve an Academy Award for how you went about this. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. The only person that you're hurting is you.
Yeah.
Because you actually did not hurt me. And this all came from doing so much work on myself this past year and really being alone. Like really taking the time to dissect everything. And like I said, just be really comfortable with the voice in your head and just loving where you're going, what you're doing, and doing right by people, right? Like just being yourself, doing what makes you happy. And I think that's why that's a huge, I really wanted to start this episode with that because obviously I didn't know it was going to happen. You know, last week I told you guys that I'm officially in a long distance relationship. And this time I'm like, I'm not broken, I promise, but I'm actually not. And like I said, seeing my hard work, work in real time felt so unreal this morning that I woke up like a normal day. I woke up and I was like, I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing because I love my life. I'm creating a life that I don't need a vacation from. I'm creating a life that I wake up and I love. And there's such freedom in that. You know what I mean? Like there's such happiness in being able to create the life that you want.
Yes.
And honestly, if anything, if you're possibly going through this right now, I'm telling you right now, focus on yourself, worry about yourself, figure out who you want to be, figure out what you truly want in your life. Once you start to become that and you start seeing things a little bit clearer, the right person for sure comes around and you kind of have an idea of what you're willing to give up and what you're not willing to give up. And one of them is my mental sanity, and that's just not going anywhere.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, you said something before that I wanted to bring back up is that that you were going to be okay whether or not this continued.
Yes. I said that when we started talking again.
Yeah, like we're good. Like it's great that you're here, whatever, but it's not going to affect me in a way that it's not going to it's not going to destroy me. So it's cool that you're here, but it's also okay if you're not here.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something to really hammer home to a lot of people is that you're going to be okay with or without whatever person.
Yeah.
And I think it seems like when you're in something and you're like really in the bowels of a relationship and you feel like you simply cannot live without them. It's just not true.
It's not true.
You're always going to be okay. And I think that, I mean, you even said it last week, one of the things that you wanted in a partner was that they have their own hobbies, they have their own, so you have your own thing.
Yeah.
So your whole life isn't intertwined with this person. You have your own interests, you have your own hobbies, so you're not going to be miss out on so many things because that person's no longer around.
And I think that's really important. And like you said, creating a life that you're really, really proud of, whatever that looks like, and not in a, materialistic way, not in a money way, but just genuinely creating a circle of friends that are so solid.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's important.
If you have strained relationships with family members that you've always thought about, rekindling, I've rekindled some family relationships that I never thought I would rekindle. And it feels amazing. It feels really, really good to finally get to a point in my life where everything around me is solid. That if something comes my way and it's not solid, I'm like, shoo. And I love the fact that I see that happen in real time now. And I'm like, ooh, that just validates how strong I've been saying I am to myself. Oh my God, Linda, you especially owning a little business. Yeah, it's a small business, but oh my gosh, shit fucking happens. Every month there's some kind of leak. There's some kind of problem. There's whatever. And I'm just I've come to realize that I can take the punches and I can take them, and I'm so good at learning about them. And I think if anything comes your way that will break you, and I know it's so hard, but trying to find that tiny silver lining in any situation and ask yourself, what is this teaching me? And you might not get the answer right away, but you will eventually get the answer.
Yeah.
As to why a certain something is happening to you. You know, whether it's breaking the cycle or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, oftentimes you do have to break the cycle, but I think just becoming very, very solid with who you are as a person, what you're looking for in a partner, in your life, all starts with you. It all starts like who you are as a person. You're going to reflect on your partner and you're going to start attracting who you're meant to be with.
I also think that the mindset is super important when you're looking at something and you're, instead of asking, it's going to sound so corny, instead of asking like, why is this happening to me? It's more like, why is this happening for me?
Yeah,
Like stuff doesn't happen
Changing
just
your
for no
mindset,
reason.
for real.
It really doesn't.
Mm-mm.
And, you know, like with all of the things that I went through, and like, I mean, you and I were kind of going through it at the same time, which is probably why we were so toxic and drunk for so many months.
Yeah, literally. We were always drunk.
But,
We
you
were
know,
so
like
drunk.
it was just, that was the journey. Like we needed to go through and do what we were doing to come through this year and be like, hey, you know, maybe this is like not like what we want to do. Like,
Yeah.
You know,
You just like get to a point where you're like, this isn't me anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm good. And not saying that I won't tie one on, because bitch, I could tie one on still. But it's just like, I like don't want to do that every night anymore.
No,
Like,
no, I definitely don't. No, thank you. I'm good on that. But yeah, I think with this episode, I definitely want to like touch on a few subjects. I know you want to get into love languages, which is, I
we
think,
can do that after.
a perfect end to this episode. But yeah, there is something that I want to talk about, and I don't want to get religious because I don't like to bring up polarizing topics. But
Well, just say you're not trying to sway anybody to do
No,
anything. We're
no.
talking about our own experiences.
yeah,
like,
this
'cause
is
when
my own experience.
Like when I brought up church, it's like, this is just something that I'm trying out, and like we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
and,
literally.
like, whatever.
But once that happened on Sunday, I stepped foot in one of these like super modern churches, like the one that you went to with like the smoke machine and the music.
Yeah.
And there's like, it was so modern. It was so different from what I'm used to because I was raised Roman Catholic. So it was so different. So different. But I need to explain this experience. And it may have been because of my mental, right? Because I'm like, I'm a strong, independent woman. And I'm like, you know, holding in whatever I'm holding in, right? Because if I want to cry, I'm going to cry. But like, I wasn't crying. So I was like, something's wrong. I'm going to blow up something's going to give. So we walk in. It's this new church that's in Stanford. We walk in. Everybody's so nice. Everybody like came up to us and like, of course, me and my sister are so antisocial and so awkward. We're like, we don't know where we are. We don't know what we're doing.
Help
we
me,
don't know
don't
what's
talk to
happening.
me,
Don't talk
please.
to me. Too many words. So whatever. So all these people are saying hi to us. This absolutely stunning, gorgeous angel of a human comes over. She's talking to us. Like, she's just so easy to talk to. We start talking to her, whatever. She asks us our names. She brings us over to the auditorium. And we basically say to her, like, listen, we haven't been to church in so many years. We've always wanted to do something because we know it's healthy to believe in something, have faith in something. And that's truly what's the chunk that's been missing out of my life. And I remember telling you back in like December, I was like, I think I've like kind of started coming into like my faith again, which has been interesting. I've been navigating it at my own pace, at my own time. So this was like the next step in that.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch.
Uh-oh.
We stood in the auditorium and she goes, okay, ladies, can I pray with you? And we're like, fuck it, yeah. I need all the prayers I can get.
Let's go.
I need all the prayers I can get. Pray to all of them. And if you find my guardian angel up there while you're praying, tell her I said what's up. And I'm sorry. So it's me. Across from me is my sister, and she's to the right of me. She puts her hands on both of our shoulders and starts praying. And just like a prayer that's like very like bring peace and grace. Like she literally remembered our names, put her hands on our shoulders, and I start fucking weeping like a child.
Oof.
And I'm like, like trying to keep it in. Like I literally had like a lump in my throat because I was trying to like keep it in. I was like, oh my God, I don't think I'm ready to come to church. Maybe this was wrong, whatever. So she says this like really cute, very, very nice prayer for us, very short. I look up, I look at my sister. She's bawling. And she's wiping. She's like, oh my God, I don't know why I'm crying. I was like, thank God, because I was like trying to hold it in. And you know what she said? She's like, that's why we keep it really dark in here. She's like, a lot of people get very moved. And I was like, this could either be the worst thing that I could do today or the best thing that I can do today. That overwhelming feeling where I was like, oh my God, could this be a tiny little piece that I've been trying to tie everything together? Like with this person that I'm trying to become, like the happiness and the grace and the peace that I'm trying to find with myself. Like maybe this is, and like you said, I'm not coming back into the fold, but it was definitely such a weird feeling of just being at peace, having grace, and just sitting there and just listen to things that were being talked about in the Bible in such a modern way and tying it into like the pastor's like real life. And also he's like young and absolutely stunning. And that angel of a human was his wife. And she was singing voice of an angel. I'm like, these aren't real people. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is if you've been thinking about it, if you've been whatever, and obviously it doesn't have to be this type of church, but just something. I think if you're on that journey and you've come very far, but you're like feeling like you're missing some weird piece, it might be faith. And like 6 months ago, I would have, those words would have never fucking came out of my mouth. I promise you. But now I can confidently sit here and say it changed a little bit about me. And if you're on that journey, maybe start exploring on things that you might want to like start having faith in. And like I said, it doesn't have to be anything, you know, like what I did. It could be something completely different.
Yeah.
April is sexual like assault awareness month.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they like do like a bunch of things around the community. Like they always go to like the women's shelter and like get them dinners and stuff. Like they do a lot of things. And I'm like, okay, this is the other piece that I've been looking for too, doing like some sort of community service. And I remember when I did the soup kitchen once and it tore me up. I was like, the shit that I saw was just, it broke me. But I was like, I need to get over it. And I need to realize that there are people that have way less than I do.
Yeah.
And if I can't, you know, give much, at least like, can I give my time?
Yep.
And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue exploring it. But I think that this very well could be a tiny little missing piece in my journey and I probably wouldn't have been able to look at it so in such an optimistic way 6 months ago, a year ago.
Yeah.
I would have been like, ugh.
Yeah, that's what I was like too.
Please
take that shit out of my face.
Yeah, no. But now fast forward, I'm like,
we're like open. We're like, okay, like I'll listen to what you have to say. We're like,
and I'll take bits and parts. You know what I mean?
That's what I did too. Like when I was like, I followed there was like this 4-part series that I really wanted to hear all of the parts, and I did go to 3 out of the 4 because one of them I had to work, so I listened to all of them, and I think I took what made sense to me and left what didn't. I like that I'm allowed to do that. Well, I like that I think that I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah.
That I can kind of like just take what resonates with me. And I think, you know, I think that's a very easy way to get somebody to come back and maybe explore it instead of it being like, if you don't do this, then you're done.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah. That's what I liked about this. There wasn't about like confessing your sins. It wasn't any of that. If you've been wanting to explore, because I was wanting to explore for like a little while, and I'm not trying to recruit anybody to anybody's fucking church.
Well, I'm gonna come with you on Easter.
I would love.
Can we wear like cute little outfits and then do like a cute little brunch afterwards?
Absolutely, of course.
Yes.
I'll make the reservation ASAP.
I love that.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. Like I said, something that I wanted to throw in there because the breakup happened. I went to church, bawled my eyes out. There was just so much that happened in just a short fucking period of time before recording this episode that I'm like, I have to share all of this with you guys. You know what I mean?
She literally came in with like a glowing halo
like my emotions just went zoop, 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 zoop all weekend. And I'm again with the trickle down therapy.
You know,
this is what I got for you guys.
It feels good to let it out. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why we started this podcast in the first place. I mean, other than we are so fucking funny, you know, this was very much cathartic for me, like kind of making fun of like the situation that I was in or like whatever I was going through. It was like, it made it easier for me
to get over it. Yeah.
To get through it. You know what I mean? So I love that. That's also helping you. And I like that you went to church. I like that you tried something maybe not. Well, definitely different.
So different.
Very
It
new.
was so different. Like even when I stood up, I looked at my sister and she's like, well, that was different. And I was like, I felt the same way. Like it was just so different, but it might be exactly what I've been looking for.
Oh, I just love that. Well, since we're talking about we're still in our mental. I wanted to maybe ask about some signs that you would notice if you think somebody is like down. Like, what are some things? What are like maybe some subtle signs that would like kind of tip off that someone's like not doing very well?
Like mentally?
Yeah.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh.
I'm asking you.
Signs that I find is if somebody starts becoming very distant.
Okay.
If they like, because the people around me, specifically my friend group, if I have a friend that kind of disconnects a little too much, I'll do mental health check-ins. Be like, hi, just haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. What's good? You know what I mean? Or so that's the number one thing I always look for. Like if I don't talk to you for a really long time, that means that you're extremely busy. So I'm going to check in with you. Be like, are you good? Like, hey, how are you?
Hi.
You know what I mean? Or like even with like my best friend or even with my sister, like if I don't hear from her I talk to my sister all day, every single day. There's like serious codependency issues with me and my sister. It's disgusting. It's not normal. So if I don't hear from her for like 2 days, I'm like, hello. And same with her. She's like, you forgot about me. You know what I mean? Like, so I think for me, the biggest hint that something where someone around me isn't doing too well is if they disconnect from me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't get memes sent or like a text message or just like something. If I don't hear from that person, that kind of ticks off something that like they might not be doing well. Social media wise, if you start posting
inspirational quotes,
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to DM you and be like, you good? Are you okay?
Are you
like
okay?
If you start posting some like very like deep shit, because you do once in a while and I'm like, she's probably just in her feels. But if you posted something outlandish, I'd DM you and be like, you good?
What's happening? What happened?
What's going on?
I'm coming over.
And like, I get it. Like some people just post some things just to post. But another thing I have to talk about with those inspirational quotes on Instagram, I'm convinced that my Instagram is linked to my brain. Because if I'm going through something like so niche, so specific, those are the motivational quotes that pop up on my Explore page. It's always like geared towards them. And I'm like, don't post it because then someone's going to know that there's something wrong. They're going to know that something's wrong. So that's another way that I see, or like if I have a friend that's like super bubbly, super talkative or whatever, and, you know, we're finally out with that person, they're very to themselves, I'll know that like something's up, you know what I mean? Or if they're talking about one very specific issue over and over and over, clearly it's something weighing very heavy on their brain and it might be affecting everything else in their life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, changes in behavior are definitely like a flag of some sort. Now, what would you do to approach the situation? Like, I mean, I know with me, like, or with your sister, or, you know, with your best friend, like, I already know what you would do. You'd be like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
But like, what if it's someone that's really maybe not like into talking about feelings, and you ask them if they're okay, and they're like, no, I'm good. Like, do you let it go, or do you press?
No, I don't press. I ask very strategic questions.
Okay.
I get very creative with the way that I try to create thought-provoking questions and let them speak. Yeah. Right? So like say I know that like work is very, very stressful for this person and all the changes start happening and it might be, you know, work-related stress or something. And I say, hey, how are you doing? And they say, fine. How's work? It's okay. And then I'll ask about a very specific project that they're working on or whatever. Like even like with, you know, my best friend, if I like bring up a very specific project that she's working on, be like, oh, did so-and-so, you know what I mean? Like send you the whatever that you were looking for. Oh, whatever happened with that lawsuit or whatever it is. It kind of starts and then you'll see it right away. Like you'll see the, oh my God, that fucking asshole like never got back to me. And then X, Y, and Z, and it starts pouring out. So I just go about it like if it's like a significant other and I notice like something's off, I'll bring up the fact of I'll just be very blunt with him. Be like, hey, I noticed that you know, this X, Y, and Z change, just making sure that you're okay. And if there's anything that I can do to like help you, you know what I mean? And if they're like, no, because a lot of people don't want to put their problems on you because they feel like a burden.
Oh yeah. That's,
You know what I mean? So like they don't want to. So then I'll kind of like let it go. I'll make a very, you know, fruitful conversation, or I'll create like a very comfortable environment in that conversation where it's just funny. It just flows, eases their mind for a second. And then I'll start sprinkling in tiny little questions. And then it just continues flowing. It has never failed me.
yo, Linda's about like the psychological warfare for real.
I told you I have a PhD in mental health. I am so good with manipulating people's minds. It's never worked. Sometimes I like think about it, like whenever it does work for me and it works so well, I'm like, I'm so good at this.
I'm scared of myself.
I'm like, I'm so good at this, but I can't do it with myself.
Well,
Well, how would you do it?
I don't normally press because being me, like I'm going to talk when I want to talk. So
Yeah.
like I try to give other people that respect where like if you want to talk to me, I'm here for you. So like if I ask somebody, hey, like is everything okay? You seem off. The energy's a little bit off, because like I can feel it like right away. Like especially if I'm in the same room with somebody, I'm like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
like are you okay? Because I can. It just it's
especially
like,
if you're in the same room.
yeah, you can feel like lightning bolts. You can feel it.
Yeah.
And if they're like, no, I'm fine, and then I'll like give it a second, and I'll be like, are you sure? Because like I'm here for you, and like no judgment. Like you can literally say anything that you want to me, and I've got your back, and I'm here for you regardless. I always make sure I tell people that I love them. Like I love you. I've got your back. It's cool if you don't want to talk, but just like know
that you can come to me if you need to talk
I'm
to.
here. I'm here for you. Like anything you need, I got you. So that's kind of how I can't manipulate answers out of people. I don't really know how to do that. I just don't know how. I'm like too direct for that. I'm like, just fucking tell me what's going on. But you know, like I just need to like let people know. Yeah. Hey,
I like
I'm here
the
for you.
psychological warfare that I ensue on people.
I mean, maybe that's something I can learn how to do. I don't know. But, and then sometimes like, if I know that they want to talk, but they're like maybe scared or think that they're going to burden me, sometimes like I come out and I like will tell them something that's going on with me.
Oh, that's a good way.
You know, and I'm like, oh, you know, just like this happened, or like whatever, or this is going on with me, and whatever. So like, there's kind of like this like open playing field where you can like bounce something off of me, or if you're going to try to give me advice, you know, for what I'm going through, that sometimes helps too. Like if people are feeling down, maybe if they can feel helpful, like to somebody else, that would either like open them up,
Okay,
or
I like
make them
that.
feel better.
That's
and,
smart.
Yeah. So,
Sometimes I get nervous that like if I'm going through something and somebody starts telling me about their problems, I check out.
yeah.
That's my problem. That's why I like, I get what you're saying. For me personally, I can't, because I've been on the other side of that, and I'm like, I can't help you right now because I have my own shit that I'm dealing with, and I can't give you proper advice right now. That's why like I fucking poke, because I'm like, it's been too long. I haven't heard from you in weeks. It's time to speak.
Yeah.
It's time to tell me. And I get it. There's certain things that you absolutely should be keeping to yourself that are not my business.
Yeah.
That are not my business. I'm with certain topics, like any of my friends and family members' relationships, and you know this, I don't fucking ask questions. Unless you want to come to me and talk to me about it, I'll give you my PhD in mental health relationships.
Yes.
Emphasis on relationships. I have a PhD in that as well. I could give you my whatever. But if I ask a very small question about your relationship and it's like very, you know, open and shut, I don't ask anymore. It's not my business. It's not my place. Not my problem.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I just get like, if I know that something's off with somebody and they're like, oh no, I'm fine, whatever. I'm like, well, listen to mine. You know what I mean?
Well, if you got nothing, I got something.
Well, help me. Help me.
You want to hear about me? Let's talk more about me.
Help me.
I'm my favorite subject. Okay. I mean, is there any other little tips that we can give? Maybe checking in on yourself?
Yeah, for sure checking in with yourself. I think I started breath work back in January.
Ooh.
I use the Open app.
Okay.
I'm going to be very transparent. I am not consistent with it. And it's one of those, like, I treated religion. I do it when I like need help or something. Like I do it when I like need it. I don't do it when I don't need it, which is so terrible. But
it's not though. It's not terrible to keep something in your pocket and use it when you
for
need
a rainy day. The thing with breath work is the more you're consistent with it, the less you'll need it for a rainy day. It's just always there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys have ever tried breath work. Like I said, I use the Open app. There's a million different ones that you guys can use. Like, the Open app is kind of cool because it's geared towards very specific things. Like, there's breath work for, your nervous system. There's breath work for heartbreak. Like, there's breath work for so many different things. So it's a little expensive, but I love it. I've learned so much from it. Breath work helps, and I think it goes hand in hand with journaling because it's just a way of collecting your thoughts, organizing your thoughts,
and getting them out.
Figuring out point A to point B. Therapy. Let's throw that bad boy in there.
Absolutely.
You're more than welcome to sit in on our podcast, but
actually,
maybe go hire a professional.
Yeah.
Hire a professional for some therapy because that's usually the golden ticket. But yeah, I mean, breath work definitely does help. Meditation for sure helps. Journaling helps. Like I said, creating a very solid group of people around you, whether it's family, friends, relationships, whatever, creating a very solid environment. And, honestly, don't be scared to take certain risks.
No. And I mean, in addition to the breath work, which is, I am in therapy. So like I do like breath work with her and like I can't meditate yet. Like I really can't.
It's so hard.
I try really hard.
It's so hard. I just got into the breath work. I'm like, one thing at a time, please.
Yeah. Well, she, like my therapist sent me like the thing where she rings the bell and it's like the ding.
Yeah.
You have to like concentrate on the bell and like you can kind of do that. And I concentrate on the bell and then when it goes away, it's like, okay, what am I doing? Like,
yeah.
And also the tapping. Have you heard of the tapping?
Yeah.
Where you like the vagus nerve and you have to like tap down your body.
There's like a lot of estheticians that talk about it on Instagram.
Yes. So that is supposed to help regulate your nervous system. And it's like so funny because like when I'm feeling unhinged and like I talk to my therapist about it and I'm like, and I just felt like I wanted to like explode. And then she's like, well, then you got to remember your breathing. I go, I remember my breathing when I'm talking to you. Yeah. When I'm freaking out, I can't think of anything else. She goes, yeah, but that's when you have to regulate. I'm like, okay, I understand.
But that's what I'm saying. I think doing it regularly, it just becomes a habit.
Yeah.
Like once you get into doing it on a daily basis, like it just becomes second nature. So it's not like where you have to remember to do it. It just happens. It starts coming naturally. I feel like that's like with everything.
Yes. So that's like the getting up 10 minutes earlier than you normally would just to sit in your bed and listen to the dings and try to like breathe.
That'll never happen.
I try to do it.
I can't say never. It could, but not.
It's just.
I'm not a morning person.
No, oh my God.
I choose violence every single morning. I wake up and even sometimes like with my roommate's cat, I'm like, Melly! And she'll just like come like around the corner and she's like, what the fuck's happening? I just need to hug her. I'm like, shh, quiet.
Just give me a
hug.
Hello.
You know what I mean? And that's like the only interaction I have for the first like half hour of my mornings. Because I can't. If I start dinging and I start like thinking about shit early,
no. Then it's all over.
My whole day's going to be ruined. I need to debrief. I can't start with my day with last night's debriefing. No. We don't work like that. It's a new day. Let's ruin it and then fix it later.
Okay.
Kidding.
Okay, so we do breath work. We could do a tapping. Maybe we should do like an episode on how to do the tapping. That's going to be a bit. It would have to be a YouTube vlog, actually. We couldn't even do it for this. All right, do we have anything else? How we check in with other people, how we check in with ourselves.
No, if you have any questions or if you guys want to reach out, you're more than welcome.
Yeah,
our DMs are always open.
Slide into those DMs. I want to hear everything. Let's talk about love languages. Now, we all know about this guy and his book. Gary Chapman, his name is, okay? So he wrote this book in the 90s, and it's titled The 5 Love Languages. So do you know what the 5 love languages are?
Physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
Words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Gifts.
Yep.
Acts of service.
Yes.
And I'm missing one. Hold on. So wait, I said physical touch.
Yep.
Words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Gifts.
Yep. Acts of service.
Acts of service. I don't know.
Quality time.
Quality time.
So
yes,
these are the
one.
5 love languages that so it's this specific man wrote this book about. Now, I think it's important to stress that this man is not an actual licensed counselor. He's not,
basically us.
Yeah, he's like not a doctor.
He also does. He has a PhD in mental health.
He does have a
Emphasis
PhD, but it's
on-
actually in anthropology, I think it is.
What the fuck is anthropology? Isn't that like plants and stuff?
No, I think it's like humans.
Oh.
Like I think it's like humans.
Okay, never mind.
So this guy was a Southern Baptist pastor. So the people he was a marriage counselor, and the people that he was counseling are heterosexual couples. Okay, so I think that it's important to stress that these love languages that he wrote about were patterns that he noticed in the couples that he was counseling.
Okay.
And I don't know the exact number of the couples that he counseled, but you know, being a pastor,
enough to write a fucking book.
Yes. But Southern Baptist, they're not so friendly with like non-hetero people. So
how long ago was this book written?
1992.
1992, so not that long ago.
I mean,
don't.
I mean, it's
32 years.
It's been a while. So I think it's important to stress those things, and I think that there is like everyone talks about, oh, like what's your love language, and like how do you do this, or how can I love someone that this, and it's based on things that are maybe not modern.
Okay.
We'll say that, you know, over 30 years ago, there's 1992 and 2024.
But I feel like for the blueprint, it makes sense still today.
It could.
Yeah.
It could. But the way that the book was written is, I don't want to start like saying all these bad things about it, but like it's kind of it can be used, it can be weaponized. Okay. Let's say things like that, cuz like if we're saying, okay, my love language is physical touch, like what do most people think when you say my love language is physical touch?
You want me to like cuddle you and shit.
Okay, that's good. But also, like, because in the book he talks about it's not just about sex. It's also about, you know, cuddling or hugging,
like
or holding hands, like all that shit. But on the other hand, he's like, no, if you're in a marriage, you need to be having sex with your partner. You know what I mean? So he kind of talks out of both sides of his mouth in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of language can be weaponized against people. If you love me,
you would do
this for me. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you could, here's what weaponizing the love languages sounds like. I'm just going to give us some examples. Gifts aren't my love language, so I can't be expected to give you anything on Mother's Day. Now, I'm going to give an example because my ex-boyfriend, when somebody asked him, are you doing anything with Danielle for Mother's Day? Now, you know, his mother had passed away, so like, you know, R.I.P. But he goes, no, she's not my mother.
Oh.
Like,
okay. But she is a mother.
But anyways,
in your life, very much in your life.
I digress. Another one is, my love language is sex, AKA physical touch. So I can't feel loved without sex, and I can't show you love until I get sex. So because in the book, what he's saying is, your partner, if this is their love language and you're not giving them the love that they need, then they're not going to feel loved. So that's how easily that can be weaponized against a partner.
I feel like this is hard when you're already in the relationship and you're now learning what your love languages are.
There's things like going into a relationship or being in a relationship, there should be a hard no. I'm willing to live with that, and I can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
There's tiers. So
For
like
sure.
maybe if you're not a physical touch person, but they are, you can find ways around there. You can find ways to work around it. And there's no evidence. There's no like research or evidence that says that mismatched love languages can't go the distance.
Yeah.
There's nowhere that it says that.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere that it says if you have the exact same like love languages that you're going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
live
mean?
happily
Like
ever after,
that's why this book is kind of like, okay, it shouldn't be held as the high gold standard. It should be like, okay,
it's good to know.
we can have this something to keep in your pocket, but not to use against your partner, or to try to be like, we're not compatible because your love language is this.
Yeah. Like you were saying, like this guy, like if he knew like, hey, like gift giving is like big for me, if he was smart, which he's not, he would have been like, okay, well, she really does, like that's how she likes to receive love is through gifts. Let me get her random gifts. Like, oh, she's having a bad day. Like, let me get her flowers because that's her love language. That's how she receives love. But like how you receive love and how you give love are like
two totally different things, or they can be totally different.
It's ridiculous.
Or sometimes like people will do things for you that they want to have done for them. So you really have to know the person that you're with, or care enough to know.
And do a background check.
Yes, do the fucking background check.
Make sure you do that first before you learn what their love languages are. The love languages don't mean shit when he's murdering people.
But again, I do have to keep saying that like this book was from a fundamentalist Christian or Baptist preacher, pastor, who believed in gender division of labor as well. So he really believed in traditional gender roles in marriages. But the guy's almost 90.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He doesn't know any better.
Like when this book came out in the 90s, you know, that's when everybody was kind of still going along with like the status quo, you know, like there's so many more things. So there's more modern ways to show love. Maybe they have like the same like core values, I guess we could say.
Yeah.
But there's more modern ways. So actually there is an article that I found. It's by the Every Girl.
Okay.
And the 5 love languages have an update. There are 2 new ways to express and receive love. And
I love this. Yay.
And I was like, okay, like let's like read through this. So in addition to the 5, they're saying, okay, there's 2 more. The first one they're saying is shared experiences, which I was like, ding, that like really got me.
Like trauma bonding?
No.
Like trauma bonding?
So they're saying that this is kind of like the quality time thing, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're spending time with this person, but this shared experiences focuses on adventuring and expanding yourself with your partner.
Okay, I like that.
As opposed to showing love by just quality time. Like, so quality time could be like, you know, we're like cuddling on the couch, or like we're just having coffee together, or, you know, we're laying in bed, just pillow talk. You know, that's all quality time, right? But shared experiences can be starting a new hobby, like pickleball.
Okay.
And also, I think I also want to kind of, little side, doesn't always have to be a romantical relationship.
Could be your friendships. Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
So I think that, you know, because like when I was reading this, I was like, oh my God, like that's totally me. Like I always like, let's go. You want to go start pickleball, or do you want to go do this, or do you want to, you know?
I got pickleball rackets.
Did you?
Because I know you want to do pickleball.
Yay. See? So it's not necessarily about which. It doesn't always have to be skydiving or trying a new sport. It could be a hike, or it could be whatever. So some of the signs that shared experiences could be a love language for you is that you enjoy planning a weekend trip or activity with your partner or friends. We're going to say that too. You're always seeking out new things you can do together. You prefer to get out of the house for a date night rather than staying in. And again, it doesn't have to be every single night.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to discount staying in because I love being home.
Yeah. This is so you.
Yes.
This is literally your love language.
Yeah. See, these are things that I you know, I didn't really ever think that I fit into those categories when I like read about them.
This one is literally you.
Your favorite memories with your partner involve things that you experienced together.
Like a concert or something.
A concert, a trip. Yeah. You seek out people who are adventurous or not afraid to try something new.
This was written by an Aries.
You think? We're going to have to look her up.
This is written by an Aries. Because we both are like, yeah,
let's do it.
Woo!
I mean, us being the first sign of the zodiac and also the cardinal fire sign, bitch.
And the best.
We kind of, we're all about leadership and like taking
Facts.
charge, period,
Absolutely.
point blank. And then the other one is emotional security.
Oh.
So feeling emotionally seen and taken care of. Like
Okay.
feeling like somebody knows you for you.
That's mine, for sure. That's how I receive love.
It's different than seeking validation, affirmation, or praise, like those who resonate with the original love language, words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Even though it's really nice to hear words,
Yeah.
like you're doing a good job or
But
you
somebody
look really
who just
pretty.
genuinely takes the time to get to know you.
Yes. People who resonate with the love language of emotional security need to feel like when they take their walls down, their partner will listen to them and respect their true emotions.
That's for sure mine.
That's like the not being scared to say what you're feeling because you're going to get judged.
Yeah, that is 100% mine.
And so here are some signs that emotional security could be your love language. You're not afraid of a deep conversation. You ask a lot of questions to get to the root cause of situations or feelings. Friends call you to talk through issues or feelings because they feel safe with you.
This is literally me.
You
See, it was written by an Aries.
You often ask your partner how they really feel about a situation, and you enjoy the connection that is formed by getting vulnerable with someone else.
For sure.
So these two more modern love languages resonate the most with me.
For sure.
Like
100%.
reading the old ones, I'm like, I know that I show love by getting gifts. Like I already know that because like I just want people to know that I'm thinking of them.
Yeah.
But like receiving it, I'm kind of like, you don't have to get me anything. Like I don't really want you to get me anything.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of having like shared experiences. Like let's take off. Like let's go away for the weekend.
That is so important. Like that is actually like one of the top 5 when I'm like dating somebody. I need to know that you're willing to just like pick up and just go away for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that's so important to
And
me.
it doesn't even have to be on a plane.
No.
Let's take a drive. Like let's
like
go.
that, me and you would do that. We'd be like,
Let's go to Boston.
Actually,
Hello?
literally I was about to say we're due for a Boston trip.
Yeah, let's go. What are we doing? Why are we still here?
Right. Why aren't we in the car right now?
Yeah, like let's just leave. And so I like how the love languages are getting a little bit of a facelift. There's actually a whole other book that I just found out about as I was, reading. There's another book called The Modern Love Intensive, Speaking from the Heart. So these languages for modern love. Now, this woman who wrote this book, she's saying that there is 18 different love languages.
Okay, that's a lot. Like you're just going to hit on every single one of them now.
I think that's really what it is. And I think because this book dives more into not just
conventional
not just romantic love.
relationships.
It's platonic love. It's not just hetero love.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think this is just like more modern
Mm-hmm.
for the times that we're in right now. But there's just like a couple, like accountability, personal growth. But these are just things that you should just want for yourself. Like,
Yeah.
But self-love, I think, is big in this book. Now, I haven't read this book. I'm going to order it and I'll read it and we can touch on it maybe when we do another mental health check-in for next month. She's focusing, again, not just on romantic love and having
it's
a
just
partner.
all types of love in general.
Oh, and I think another thing that I didn't bring up before with Gary Chapman's book was since he is a marriage counselor and he is Southern Baptist, they don't want you to get divorced. They don't. So his counseling was focused on keeping people married.
Gotcha.
So those love languages, like him saying, okay, you guys need to like show each other love the way that you need to show love. And that's like, because they didn't want anybody to get divorced. And that was a kind of like another problematic thing about it because it kind of like perpetuated like this idea that you needed to stay in a situation where maybe you weren't
Stay
safe.
within the lines, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you weren't safe or maybe you weren't being fulfilled emotionally. But because we're married, we can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Again,
that's crazy. That's so crazy to think of.
Over 30 years ago, things are a little bit different. And I'm not trying to say that you should totally take marriage seriously.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't run into it. You should really take the time and get to know this person.
I think we've come a long way since then, because I feel like back in the day, like a lot of people who are getting divorced mid 40s right now is because they were like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to get married by 25. I'm supposed to have my first or even second kid by 30. Like a lot of people were like, this is what I have to do. A lot of people are like taking a step back, really like, I mean, we have so many options at the tip of our fingers. We could really pinpoint who we want to be with.
Yeah.
And I think taking that very seriously is important.
Yes.
Like, you're talking about the rest of your life with somebody. Called me old fashioned.
No.
But you're talking about the rest of your life with somebody, make sure it's the right person.
Yeah, and actually mean it. And don't be like, oh, we can just get divorced. No, we don't.
No.
Like, and divorces are ugly.
They're
ugly.
terrible.
It's so sad. Like, I hate looking. Like, I just had a girlfriend that went through a divorce, and it was like, I felt so horrible for her.
Terrible. That sucks. But yeah, that basically wraps up our mental health episode. I hope you guys take a little bit of this. You know, I'm definitely becoming a little bit more open with my personal experiences with you guys, because, you know, Danielle said something to me today that basically, you know, you said it before. We started this podcast because we're like, there are people who could definitely relate to us. And that's why we don't really have themes for our episodes. And I think that is our niche. People have been saying, like, what's your niche? And we don't know. And you know what? That is what sets us apart, because you're going to turn on an episode and you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
This today was mental health. And I think sharing a little bit of that and me being a lot more comfortable with you guys to share my own personal experiences, because I know that there are people who resonate with, you know, my experience this past weekend of, you know what I mean, going back to an ex, you know, it fully not working out. I'm sure everybody's been through it or knows somebody who's been through it.
100%.
So it's like,
we've all been
this
there.
is where I am in my journey with something like that. And it was funny. Somebody, such a side note, but somebody reached out to me a few days ago before this breakup happened. And they like reached out to me to try and like get together, whatever. I was like, hey, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm in a relationship. And last I heard, they were in a relationship. And I was like, what happened? Like, did you guys break up? And he was like, yeah, we tried to make it work again, but like, it just wasn't working. He goes, you know, the old stale milk. But he put old stale milk.
The old stale milk.
And I was like, and of course, that's why I wore the clown hat. I was like, I can't relate to that, because my relationship with my ex-boyfriend is going amazing and we're going to live happily ever after. You know what I mean? Saturday, he ended up messaging me on something completely different. And we kind of got to talking, and I don't know how it came up, but I was like, oh, he actually like literally just broke up with me. And he goes, that old stale milk. Let me tell you. And I was just like, ew, nobody likes old stale milk. So if you're thinking about going back to your ex, just remember they're an ex for a fucking reason.
You're right. There's stories where people get back together and it works.
For sure. And you know what? Just make sure you're in a place that if it doesn't work out, it doesn't break you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it on that one.
I think that's a good place to leave it.
Before you go back to an ex-boyfriend, make sure you're solid.
Yeah, make sure you're like, okay. Or like when they throw a temper tantrum that was like with my last one, where we got back together for the last time and he got so mad at me because I didn't want to have sex with him. I was like,
I still can't wrap my head around that one.
I already said no. And then packs up his bag and he slams the door and I was like, bye.
Like, bye, you psychopath.
You're so fucking weird.
You fucking certified crazy psychopath. I told you I'm going to hit him with my car if I see him.
Well, you should. No, we're not going to hit anybody with our cars.
I mean,
we're not doing that.
Okay, fine.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of On the DL. Make sure you follow us on all the socials. We are on the DL.pod, Instagram, TikTok. And then follow us on YouTube. You see full videos and actually bonus minutes up on YouTube.
I put the whole entire episode so you see everything, because it's just when it's just recording, it's like I don't want to put in like the random bits and parts where we're laughing. There's no voice, but in the videos it's funny, so I keep them in there. So there are perfect bonus minutes on the YouTube.
We love a bonus minute on the tube. Yeah, so follow us there.
Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Just give us a follow, give us a rating, and hang out with us on Instagram. We do post a lot of stuff. So like go give us a follow on the DL.pod. Don't forget that .pod. P-O-D. For our socials, because we do post a lot on them.
Yeah, we have funny little shorts, so go follow us.
And that's it.
That's it.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.